he would also never ask anybody to do anything that he wouldn't do himself. He was always a leader who led from the front, and I think he had an awful lot of respect from the people who he was fighting with.
In this book, you can read that he was training some people. I mean, British battalion, and well, they had a kind of gun, a kind of rifle. I don't know. When he trained these people to use this kind of weapons, the Republic changed the weapon, and he had to train again with a different weapon, the same people. Did your father told you about this no organization? Because it should be crazy about this kind of thing. It's something. When I was reading that, and I was thinking, this is something that has no sense. One weapon, another one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's what it must have been like, really. I mean, the people fighting for the Republican cause had very, very basic weaponry, and it must have been very, very chaotic. A lot of the training and the organisation, and whenever I've been back to Spain and seen the places where my father was fighting, it just amazes me, because it's up in mountains and in very deserted areas, and the organisation of brigades of men and communication must have been really, really difficult in those times. I mean, I'm just amazed at how they managed to communicate in those circumstances. It must have been very, very difficult.
Well, how do you think the experience of fighting in Spain changed his life?
I think it changed his life totally. While he was in Spain, he joined the Communist Party, and he became much more political in Spain. He always said that Spain was his university. He never went to university, but Spain was his university. It was where he became a kind of confident person who realised that he had skills, and I don't think he'd ever realised that before. And I think that the respect that he got from the men that he was fighting with, and he was while he was in Spain, he was awarded a Medal of Valor by the Spanish government for his bravery. He was shot in the right hand, but carried on fighting, and they said that he was an amazing example of bravery and leadership. And when he came back from Spain, even though the Republic had been defeated and they'd lost, my father made a speech when the British battalion was disbanding and they were all going their separate ways. My father made a speech, and he said that even though the fight in Spain was over, that the people who'd been to Spain would carry on the fight on other fronts. And that's what they all did. My father got involved in local politics. A lot of people got involved in other political campaigns. But Spain was the beginning of that political education, really. And throughout his life, he carried on in different ways his political interest.
Maybe this is the cross you call it.
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, could you show the camera? Yeah. Okay.
So, and of course he.
And what?
I'm not sure what the others are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the others are, and these are modern. These are modern ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And of course he called his daughter Dolores.
Yeah, but later. Okay, this is something a little bit stupid, but anyway. Was your father proud of his Spanish experience?
I think he was, although he was always, as I say, he was a very cool man, my father, and but I think he was very, very proud. All of the men I met who'd been in Spain, they never liked to talk about themselves as individuals. They always talked about the brigadas, because I think they saw it very much as it wasn't about personal heroics and personal glory. It was about a group of very ordinary men in lots of ways, because a lot of people have the idea that the people who went to Spain were poets or writers, because some poets and some writers went, but the vast majority of the men who fought in the international brigades were working class men from poor families, and I think that they all realised that it was a group of people who were able to see what was happening in Spain, and so it was very much about a collective group, and rather than famous men.
Yeah.
And that was very apparent when they were invited back to Spain in 1996. You could feel that comradeship when they all got together, that amazing feeling of being back together again, and you could just see the friendships and the respect that people from all over the world, I mean, there were brigaders from Cuba and from Hungary and from Italy and Germany and France.
Was your father or the international brigadier heroes?
I don't think that they would ever use that word about themselves. I think that they would always see themselves as fighting against oppression and fighting for democracy. But I don't think any of them did it out of a sense of personal glory and to become a hero, because in fact when they came back, I was always amazed when I was growing up, and people, when I would talk to people about the Spanish Civil War, very, very few people knew anything about it at all. And so when they came back, it wasn't to a hero's welcome in this country. So I don't think it was ever about personal glory. It was about fighting for a cause that you really believed in.
Mm-hmm. In Spain, you can hear that it was the last romantic war. Romantic in the sense that they could die just for an